If it's Lance, the sooner the better.
Amen.
All right. We got to talk about Julio. I talked about this a couple of days ago, but if he ends up on another NFC West team, are the Niners just screwed? Like, does it just take the wind out of their sails entirely?
100. I mean, from a fan perspective, 100%. Especially if he ends up there for a steal. If he goes there for some draft pick that we could have afforded to give up.
Yeah.
And he played, let's say it's Seattle. That's my worst nightmare. I go to the games there. The fans there are, in my opinion, atrocious. It's just a negative atmosphere. I've never felt less wanted at a stadium in all the places I've been in the NFL than in Seattle. And I get it. It's a rivalry there. But, man, if I have to watch him across from DK Metcalf with Lockett coming out of the slot, it's just going to give me nightmares. It's going to give me nightmares. So I feel like
about him on the Rams.
Well, in that case, I guess I'm not as petrified of their receiving core, but the Stafford effect is a real one and one that I'm a little nervous to see. So Stafford to Julio, that also doesn't sound like something I want to go up against, because you look at our defensive backs and we're one injury away from a very painful situation, having to guard Julio and someone else. It's frustrating to me to think that we wouldn't pull the trigger. I am tired of seeing all these stories of, the 49ers are exploring the options with this person, fill in the blank, and it never comes to fruition. I want one of these to hit, Grant. What do you think?
Yeah. I don't see how. I mean, if Julio Jones ended up on any other team, the Niners would be screwed in this division. But I don't see how any other team is going to get him. I think I'm not surprised that they're having trouble moving him. His cap number is $15 million. No way around that.
15-3.
15. There's no way around that. I mean, yes, maybe the Falcons will pick up some of that, but not all of it. Maybe not even half of it. So who has the cap space? Like, not many teams have cap space this year.
It's tough.
Atlanta has 330,000. New Orleans has 350,000. So I'm not sure that any team in the NFC West is going to be able to pull this off. That's the only silver lining here. Yeah.
Atlanta can't even sign their rookies until they get him off of the books. They don't even have the cap space to do that. And
so that's key.
It makes them have to act relatively soon. Yeah, they are.
It means that they're probably going to take a crap pick in return. But all you need is cap space. They're trying to create as much cap space as possible. The Niners theoretically could do that.
They could. And Josina Anderson reported, latest report was that it is people offering low mid-round picks, which I'm anticipating would still be a second. I'll be shocked if it doesn't take a second to get Julio. But she reported that most teams interested are trying to get Atlanta to eat some of that salary, and that's going to be hard to do. I mean, they're pressed up against the cap. They don't want to do that. For me,
maybe they'll pick up $5 million of it, but that means you still got to pick up 10 because they can't sign. You need about $10 million to sign a rookie class.
Yeah. It's depending on where that first one is. That's the crutch, right? True. Is those top 10 picks are expensive. That is it's a conundrum, man. I say get it done. And the way I say we do it is extend Jimmy Ward. And I know you're now on board with that, given how popular Jimmy Ward is in your book after that.
Oh yeah, man. He just gave me the ultimate advertisement for this channel. So thank you. Lock him up. Lifetime contract. No questions asked.
And now he's getting the number 1 jersey, man. It may be time to spring for. He's changing numbers to number 1. It may be time to get that Jimmy Ward jersey, people.
Number 1 player in my heart. The coach says Trent Williams was a free agent for the first time, coming off a very toxic situation in DC. Can't expect a guy to come on a Super Bowl roster and flex right away. Just my opinion. That's true. That is absolutely true. And maybe Trent Williams will grow into the leader the Niners offensive line needs. Or Alex Mack will do it. Here's the thing. You just need one guy on the line to hold other people accountable. What I didn't cover Trent Williams in Washington, but from what I've heard is his reputation has always been a guy who holds himself accountable, which is great because he's the best and he plays at a very high standard and makes sure he stays there. But his attitude towards everyone else on the line is, what do you want me to do, man? What do you want me to say? That's your job. I can't block for you. So not exactly the leader that Joe Staley was, or that Alex Mack is. Maybe he could become that, or maybe it's not his personality. I don't know. Some people just don't want to lead. Some people want to worry about their own stuff, and I guess that's fine.
It is. I mean, the world is full of people who want to be leaders that should actually be followers, because the world needs more followers, less leaders.
I don't think he's a leader or a follower.
Leaders.
I think he's just like, man, I'm on the left. I'm doing my thing.
Yeah. And what the coach brings up a really great point here. The idea of how toxic that relationship was in Washington before leaving there. So there's a lot of scar tissue for him metaphorically and in real life on that cancerous growth that he had removed. So I don't blame him for coming in and being guarded at first. And I think that the coach is correct in saying that potentially we see him move beyond that now that he's been rewarded so handsomely by the organization. That may evoke some of that trust that he was lacking last year. I hope we see that transition.
Check Hogs 2.0, Grant. I really think you're off on this one. Fair enough. I will. That's not a first-hand account. I'm telling you what I heard from other writers that cover him. So they may not even know. It's not like that Washington team was ever that good. So I'm open-minded. Let's see what he's got, man. It's year 2. The Niners committed to him. It would be nice to see him take a more vocal role in terms of holding people accountable, because he can. He has the license. You're great. Whatever you say, people have to go along with. And Joe Staley took the license, so you can now too, Trent.
The fans would eat it up. And to the point of coach, I mean, for anyone listening, always be open to new information. If I go and explore that Hogs 2.0 and I get new info on Trent Williams, my opinion is going to change because I have new inputs coming in. So I could be wrong about that, and I'm going to change my stance on it. That's not a flip-flop. That's educating yourself on something.
I still have never been face-to-face with Trent Williams. That's weird.
Really?
It's been on the team a year. I mean, they signed him during the pandemic. I've never been face-to-face with this guy. So one day, never met him. Interesting to know what he's like. Mark says Mike Banks and Brunskill both at OG positions give Niners a better line this season. Interesting, because I really feel like Laken Tomlinson is a little overrated. I don't know. But it's not going to happen. Brunskill is now the center, the backup center.
Right. They do have a bigger need there. It seems clear-cut to me that the team disagrees on the Laken Tomlinson
They
issue.
love them.
I tend to side with the team because I haven't seen anything to make me truly doubt him, but I haven't seen some of those film reviews that you did where it was pretty evident that some of the gaps were coming from him. My hope is that was a result of poor communication with that rotating center position we had last year, because I felt like years prior, I felt more confident in his play. Last year, I wasn't sure. I didn't see anything that made me change my mind on him. I still like Laken Tomlinson, but I could see where you might have some doubt.
Well, he's the guy who gave up the hit that hurt Jimmy Garoppolo's ankle. Now, to be fair, it was Cohn and Williams, who's phenomenal. He's really good. He's the guy who went the pick after Nick Bosa, and arguably could have went the pick before Nick Bosa. There was a discussion there. The guy's really good. So getting beat by Quinn Williams, there's no shame in that.
No.
See what he does this year. See what he does this year.
Yeah.
But I do think Brunskill is being groomed as the center of the future.
It
doesn't mean he can't play guard in a pinch, but I think they want him to. They've had him playing 7 million different positions. I think they want him to stick at one.
It's like Jimmy was saying about himself, that like not many people can do that and stick with a team. So credit to Daniel Brunskill for fighting through what the Niners have asked of him, which hasn't been fair from a player perspective. And yet he has continued to get it done, continued to impress, and now has a shot to truly hone his craft at one position. So my hope is that the 49ers stop messing with him, let him be the backup center, let him groom there, and then step in for Mac when he steps away.
Yeah, he's getting an entire offseason playing that position. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
And, you see, it's not the fair way to break him into the league, having him play every different position, but it's the path you usually got to take when you're an undrafted free agent.
That's right.
It ain't easy, but no one's asking you to be on this team. I mean, I can see Jimmy Ward being like, yo, what the hell? I'm a first-round pick, and you don't know what you want to play me. Daniel Brunskill is like, hey, man, we don't have a spot for you, so you got to make yourself useful. He did it. I always respected it. I like him, like Raheem Mostert, who made their path through special teams. It's cool. So good for you, man.
It's like the lunch pail dudes, the dudes that brought their lunch pail to work and just, that's it. They're hardworking men.
They grinded it out. Yeah, absolutely. I respect that. All right, last topic.